Okay. Might as well get my controller out too, just to stay comfy. Okay, so from where we last left off, what was it? We were back in in Kazuma's cabin, where we just finished investigating, Pavlova's cabin, and then, we went back to Kazuma's, saw that, what's his face again? Sorry. Nosunaga, was it? It doesn't go that far? Damn. Yeah, Nosunaga, I think. Yeah, we saw him got beat up over basically disobeying Captain's orders on not letting Ryunosuke out, since he is suspected of murdering Kazuma. Also, god damn it, why did Kazuma have to die, man? Why always with the cursed case 2s, man. There's a fan translation. They bought it normally and applied it to it. Ah. But yeah, so basically stuff happened. The person that was guarding the area is nowhere to be found, and this is our time to sneak back in. Also, I really feel like something's wrong here with my performance. I don't know. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Sasada-san. Oh, where's she gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are private things. There's not a moment to waste, Naruhodo-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can. I suppose you're right, for Kazuma's sake. Not just for Kazuma-sama. What do you mean? It can't be long now until we arrive at port, in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Really? We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san. By ourselves if we have to. Yes, we will. Naruhodo-san, are you there? Sorry? I'm right here, yes. Why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. But believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion jump inside every wardrobe you see, you know. Well anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes. I was rather hoping we might find we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. There's one of these next to the bed in Kazuma's cabin too. Yes, it's a belt cord. I can't resist. She barely hesitated there and gave it a good tug too. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to! We're trying to investigate in secret! So this ventilator connects to Kazuma's cabin next door. Yes, although what a fool a shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room. Ah, maybe it's so that there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. That is a possibility. Anyway, last night, Kazuma wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. This cabin door has the same simple sort of bolted latch that our cabin door has. If the bolt's drawn across, there's no way anybody would enter the cabin from outside. Yes, it's not a particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it? But still, it wouldn't slide across of its own accord, would it? No, and the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets. See, no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt it from the outside. And it seals up perfectly too, to stop any seawater from coming in. You couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through a crack around the closed door either. I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. Ah yes, they're displayed in this cabin too. Look, the SS Burya's rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. I suppose Miss Pavlova realized that she needed to keep the contents of her case a secret after she read this. Her special friend, I mean. I wonder where her friend disappeared to now. I swear to God, it's a small cub. It's a small bear. It's probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. I just hope Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard. Oh, yes, so do I. Okay, hold on. I've been having to adjust my headset really often. The pains of having to wear glasses, or wear headphones over glasses. Hold on. All the books have toppled over together. Look! Every single one! Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door. In Kazuma's cabin. Perhaps. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase. I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage. Not everything bad happens on the ship is because of me, you know. Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. You're messing with the crime scene! Oh my god. Oh my! Miss Pavlova's case is open. It's completely empty inside, according to the great detective's great deduction. She was hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret. Because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Burya. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. And more to the point, where's it now? Ah, what's that? See. Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile forward. Full stop, hard to starboard, all hands, brace for impact. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Sada-san, hold on to me. Sada-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san. It looks like we avoided a collision. I think... Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness, what about you, Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello? Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. We need to keep quiet. We need to keep quiet. Oh, that sounds like Inspector Hasanaga. Is that you in there, Naruhodo-san? Unbolt the door, quickly! What? The bolt? Look at that. Wait. Okay, wait. I guess with enough force on the ship, the bolt can slide itself shut? Or alternatively, slide itself open. Oh! So maybe it wasn't... Maybe it wasn't the ventilator, but maybe... Wait... No, we don't know any more than that. Although, the entry... Wait. Okay, wait. From 2 o'clock onwards, there's nothing here. And if this event has told us anything, the bolt on the doors can slide shut or open. So what could have happened during the times from 2 to 5:30, although probably around 2 when the murder happened, something could have rocked the ship so that actually no, sorry, no, that's stupid. Wait. Oh no, wait. No, sorry, no. I was thinking about something roundabout with how the actual culprit got in, got out. Well, wait, no. So then, wait, could he have gone through the ventilator? So wait, so Kazuma was in his room. Probably the lock was already shut. No, probably. Although would the culprit be able to get through the ventilator quick enough to perform the deed before? Hmm. Also wait. I forget. Wasn't Miss Pavlova in the next room too? Or was she not there on the night of the murder? I forget. Oh, or okay. I'm forgetting or maybe misremembering some facts here about Miss Pavlova, but hmm. Okay. Yeah, honestly, okay. I'm not sure then, but I'll have to keep that in mind about the fact that the bolt can slide open or shut. At the very least, we can take that away. The door's bolted. Wait, did you do that, Susato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. Naruhodo-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? I better tidy this place up first. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery, at least in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around to tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. Oh, I literally stopped right before the next part. Hmm. Okay, wait. So, okay, I might have some wrong ideas about like how the victim got in, got out, with, and also like the fact with the door bolts and everything. But then, what comes to mind, like maybe not just about the whistling sound, like maybe that's just kind of something else. But the fact that everyone said that their head was throbbing when they woke up, like Ryunosuke mentioned a headache, Susato-san mentioned a headache, Sholmes mentioned a headache. Stroganoff mentioned getting a headache on waking up. Could, like, possibly, could the ship have violently rocked back and forth or collided with something or barely dodged something that would cause everyone to get knocked about, causing such a thing? And potentially could have knocked someone out who was maybe watching over a certain area. So, I don't know. Or would it actually no, that would be even more crazy. Like, assuming Kazuma's bolt was shut, like the ship rocked so that hard enough that it opened. No, but then Stroganoff should have been able to keep watch over it, so yeah, no, I'm kind of clueless here about how the entry was actually done. I'm trying to run through like various scenarios, but a lot of them don't make sense if Stroganoff was keeping a diligent watch, but then but no, I wouldn't buy the theory that like the ship would have rocked about that violently. Like they would have alerted the entire ship even at like 2 in the morning for such an event. Yeah, no, the rocking theory doesn't make sense. So something or someone must have taken Stroganoff away from watch. Yeah, long enough that he didn't write anything. Somehow the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Susato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. You! What you are doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we're fine, thank you. But what on earth happened? We heard something about how we're going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Huh? Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming. Crew are running everywhere. This first-class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm. Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? Ah! You wicked intruder! Dressed all in black. You are the devil. Sorry? Me? I haven't caught a lot of things before, but devil's the first. You opened my traveling case. How could you? What? No, we didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector! Yes. Arrest this man. I know he did it. Oh my god. Well, I mean, it's not like we can really defend ourselves, but... He is a criminal. Is that not enough that he has killed a man? Ah, and he is stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe? Take him away. He is a trespasser as well as everything else. Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She is right. You are devil. It doesn't look good, does it? There is cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hasanaga, is there nothing you can do? No. This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. Run for it, Ness. Miss Pavlova, can I get out? Listen, I'm sorry that we snuck in here without your permission, but get out now. We just need to investigate here to help understand what happened to... It's no use. She's not going to listen. I need to find someone who will. You don't see anyone? I don't know either. All I see is a code hanging from a wall. You've got yourself into a difficult situation here. By entering this cabin uninvited, I mean. Sorry, I was just so desperate to find a clue. I'm afraid there's really nothing more I can do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face would be the least of my worries. I'm really sorry. I have to take responsibility for giving you the freedom to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. Now this has happened, I'll have to report to the captain at once. I really need some help here. I need a savior to rescue me from this crisis. Please, just give me a little more time. I do nothing for you, except show you way to ship's prison cell. Thanks, but no thanks. But I'm innocent. I didn't kill anyone. And trespassing, and stowing away. Well, you know, sometimes life can lead you down some unusual avenues, and well... Enough. You are guilty. Ship's cell is the only place fit for you. Oh, come on. There has to be someone. I don't know, man. What the? What are you doing up there? Jones? You're holding on to a tiara that's worth more than anything you've ever, or any money you've ever made across your entire lifetime. Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not? This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no. Well, why are you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall, so full of brass and brag and bounce. I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. Ah, you again, the great detective. Ah, Inspector. I confess, I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What is to report? Speak. An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes, the case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Buria, has been solved by me, naturally. What? What? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Ha! You have solved it. Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for killing Student Boy this morning when we found criminal in wardrobe. It is this stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it! The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted from the inside. That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Da! Locked room. That's his point. The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You're all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why? It gapes open mouth at you even as we speak. The ventilator, I mean. The ventilator. Ha 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 ha. You think this is funny? I can't even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening. It's not possible. Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder, even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? It's 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. But, Mr. Sholmes? What are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I'm ready. What I'm about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! Ah! Oh, what the? Oh. So that's the friend. You know, I mean, I should have suspected this from the start with the opening animation of this and the speckled band thing. But let's put that aside for now. Snake? You know, to be honest, that snake looks really friendly. Just look at the eyes. It's so round. So friendly. And then look at the hug it's given Stroganoff. See? Allow me to introduce you all to the band, the speckled band. Look at the little tail. You know, in some ways, like, these kinds of snakes are cute. When they're not out to bite and poison you. But snakes like this, they're chill. Other than, yeah, obviously not all snakes are poisonous and it depends on the species and everything, but yeah. A snake? Indubitably. Oh. Mr. Sholmes, just, one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, isn't it? It looks more like stripy. Wouldn't you say? Hmm? Yes, you're right. I think in this case you'd have to call it the striped band, wouldn't you? You both see, you both see and observe with distinction. However, do you not think that this is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap. How exactly? Meow Stroganoff. I think perhaps it is time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I've drawn from the facts. Number one, last night your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. No. She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He hit the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asagi? It looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend of yours in your neck. So, everyone, let us begin! Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular! Also, the frame drops the moment he's about to introduce his, segment here. I would assume the moment he reads this line, it tries to load up all the animations before playing it, which is why the performance dips a little bit. Stuff's weird, man. The game is afoot! Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart screams smarts with pain. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. Wait, it doesn't have fangs. Look, it's fangless. Or maybe they just don't show it. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band. Whereas regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was the sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You even have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you're trying, but failing to conceal, can only be the snake's slogged skin. Molting? Evidently, after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin, no? I don't know what you're talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake whose markings can change each time it slows its skin. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. How Mr. Asagi died. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life? And why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that as a fact, or as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death immediately. The almost but not quite imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snakebite delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense. There is no point in feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't... It is telling that the victim made a note of a low whistling sound he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. To train? Indeed. You put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. At the period, you'd summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training? It's not true. Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible. Alright, about that, let's go over that whole thing. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' A Great Deduction of the Speckled Band. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor, you observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is key to training any creature. Incredible! You solved the mystery! Amazing! Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I can now see why Sherlock Holmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course. What's on your mind? It's just, about your deductions before, some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method, and I'll answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. Ah. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Ah. Yes, so I'm not sure it would be really possible to signal a snake by whistling. But madam, what are the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? I think perhaps the performers play the music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. His entire deduction in shambles, picked apart piece by piece. No hands, no feet, no ears. These creatures are so inept as to be practically useless. Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. There is one other thing. You have more? Snake uses scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure about that. I'm not really sure that a snake can manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should try harder. Oh my god. Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there's a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. Defeated. Depressed. All the problems she points out are problems with the original Speckled Band story, incidentally. Oh, really? Huh. So, that was all a waste of time. I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, you don't mean. Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. So, cast your eyes down to your wrist again. What? You've done it again! Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not! I shall see they're restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let us begin! Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. She does have a pain expression on her face. Yes, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly, is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression then? Let's take a moment and really look very closely at Miss Pavlova. Aching heart. She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like pink little shells. Oh, what's that? There's something attached to her ear. Ah, I expect that's what's called an earring. It's a little piece of jewelry. An earring? Is that it? Or is it? It really is tiny. Perhaps it is. Perhaps part of it is missing. Maybe it broke off. Wait. So now all that's left is the clasp part that attaches to the ear. If that's the case, she doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken. She has such... blah blah blah. Oh, what's that? There's something dangling down from her ear. Ah, that's an earring. The crescent moon part looks as though it's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it? Women do seem to love adornments like that. In their hair, around their necks, on their fingers, and even hanging from their ears, it seems. Jewelry is beautiful, Naruhodo-san. Oh. Oh, Naruhodo-san, look! That looks like a very painful wound. It looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal. And fairly recently, too. Well, whatever scratcher doesn't appear to be around here.
Yes!
Yes, when you recall those horrid events, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed! And simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh! Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night? Ah! When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. It seems likely that the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? what's the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Naruhodo-san. That's where we'll find the answer. Ah. Oh, the bell! Why was the bell cut in half? Oh, excuse me. Ah, look at the photograph in this frame. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. She's exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true. But personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that's caught my eye. Maybe we better take a closer look at this.
Yes!
Without doubt, your little friend is a little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no. The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Ah! The Darka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, the fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band. Whereas, regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? Was this sight, or what was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This doesn't have anything to do with this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's slogged skin. Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. If she just left it in her pocket, no one would ever have known. Oh yes, plays like that are Mr. Sholmes' specialty. He's ever so cleverly forced her to reveal something. I thought deduction was a special ability, or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that that's the skin of a snake. In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? Well, it is speckled. And it is a band, but... Oh, it's like the little, like, dangly, like, tail thing that you, like, kind of use to play with your cat and stuff. What is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy. A long piece of cloth of some sort. It looks like a handle at one end. I think it might be a cat's toy. This is sort of common in the West, apparently. How's that a toy for cats? Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You don't need to wave it in front of them, and they pounce to catch it. That sounds positively adorable. Anything else we can see? Nah.
Yes!
Yes! The thing you were trying but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy. Precisely! And the true nature of the now infamous speckled band. Ah! And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim cannot fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Ah. Wait, hold on. Whoops, hold on. I need to untangle some cables right now. 1 second. Okay, there we go. In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a bleathsome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. A truly troublesome feline young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. So what about the snake? It was after I gave her food, last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand, and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Darka, she is so naughty. Beloved kitten. Okay, hold on. I need to move some stuff. Okay, I'm going through that annoying little phase right now where it's like, I can't find a comfortable seating position. And I'm just endlessly adjusting myself to get comfy. Oh my god, it's so annoying. Also, hold on. I really don't know what's with... I really don't know what's with tonight, or the past couple nights. For some reason, it's been increasingly annoying with wearing glasses, or what was it, with wearing headphones over my glasses. Cause like for some reason I'm getting like more pressure on my nose than usual. Which is weird because a lot of the streams before this, like I never really had this issue where I'm just constantly moving my glasses and everything. I don't know what's up. But, I don't know, I'll deal with it. So, moving on, we come to the heart of the matter. The grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life? And why? According to the data of which I've been apprised, oh my god, dude, what is with the frame drops? This game is supposed to be like, oh, I don't know, dude. It would appear, there were no visible signs of injury. Ah. Okay, hold on. Dude, why is my frame why are my frames having? Oh, whoops, sorry, hold on. Wait, is it because of... I feel like VSync or AA might be screwing with things. I mean, there's also borderless, but I like mine borderless. Okay, so let me reread that. Let's see. In the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. What Mr. Shom says is true. There are no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body. That's right. But Mr. Shom seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Ah, yes. I knew it was one or the other, and you failed the 50-50. His neck was... Indeed. The breaking of cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seaman Stroganoff isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury is out! Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. And now if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be... Ah yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something. Or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found though. Presumably Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. I suppose it's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. Oh yes, a bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe of Kazuma-sama though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Huh. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened?
Yes!
Yes! An examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively! This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed! Positively identified by a little analysis device I had constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results, the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. And the color of the polish is a perfect match of Mr. Asagi's laced leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asagi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. Please, no. And by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, lost his life. No! I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asagi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama merely tripped over and now he's no more? Dude, that'd be kind of anticlimactic, I'm not gonna lie. It can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what's happened. But... and if this part of Mr. Schultz's deduction is right, Miss Pavlova's trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eyes. Where, I wonder? Let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. This is a wastepaper basket. Perhaps all the first-class cabins have them. but Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Presumably there's not much rubbish in there yet. Oh, what's that? It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? Yes, it is. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind is simply playing, or more than your mind simply playing tricks on you.
Yes!
That's right! You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that waste paper basket! Ah! Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely! We found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asagi's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no. So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the crime, or at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in a waste paper basket in your cabin? You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not? I don't know in that hushed Russian accent of yours won't save you this time. Besides, I thought it was Ryunosuke for a moment. I don't know in that hushed Russian accent of yours won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell would be...
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Darka's collar, the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble your absent feline friend Darka. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Man, that is one way to go. Man, it just kind of leaves a bit of more of a sour taste in my mouth that he went because of that. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. Ah. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it. Yes. And I'd read the, rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes. Modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It is a precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, you thought you thought it's safe to try and lower the kitten back again. By tangling the end of the toy through the ventilator into the adjoining cabin. Naka always loved this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Kazuma wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there's nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... Oh...
I lay passed out with shock. I heard her cry out and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent.
Kazuma was... From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Burya is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. And if Mr. Asagi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his foot, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards?
In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator.
Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen.
I must have forgotten to lock my case, and now she's disappeared again.
Gracious, that cat is insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least.
When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back.
Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right. Where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it? And where did it come from? We try to head pat a snake. Oh dear God. The neck muscles on this man. Holy shit.
What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing aboard the ship?
Oh, I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is Pirosko? Oh, his name is Pirosko. Huh? What? What? That snake belongs to you. He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on, animals are not permitted on board. Huh? We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend, without someone who understands. Couldn't you find someone a little more human, who understands you better? But my dear burly fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake. Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone else in. No venom. Huh? Pirosko does not have venom. He is harmless, very long, but very gentle. He is adorable, like Granny. It's venomless? Yes. Now he is hungry, so he is in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed them with what? Milk, I suppose? Ha! Like they say, milk chickens. Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Pirosco eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses. Ah, oh, so... Is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for? Of course. How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. Sholmes? Sholmes. Deep breath. Just calm down. In and out, sir. It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord. And it's not even... venomous? How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It is not my fault. I do not make up stories. My Pirosco is nothing to do with this incident. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Honestly, I wish there was a legit criminal. Miss Pavlova. I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please, remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then... no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But... what are you thinking about, Miss Mikotoba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident. I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see, that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I confess, I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh. I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? Thanks. I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Oh, come on! We just proved that- oh, come on! Oh, not again. When did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrist as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Didn't we tell you that from the beginning, or did we not? Was he not? Yes. Kazuma was my closest friend. I owe him my freedom, even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth in here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in the cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? This is what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Hold it! Hold it! Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, is it? Or does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's time to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. The evidence that proves, unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. So, anything else about this? Strong blow. Let's see, any other? And there's that. So, yeah, because obviously someone wrote with his right hand about the wardrobe despite being left-handed.
Yes!
The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asagi could have left this message on the floor. That script, it's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language, Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. I'm sorry. What do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There is no way that Mr. Asagi could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Oh! Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything. Because he was already dead. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asagi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there. If what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? So Susanoo-san has noticed it too then. Putting this message on the floor aside, something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of the evidence that proves that this was no accident. In other words... So now we go to the diary and show the handwriting.
Yes!
Damn it. Okay, so let me take into account the evidence again. Like one or two things, either the absence of something you would expect to find at the scene of an accident, or the presence of something you wouldn't. More than Mr. Sholmes does anyway. There's a clear contradiction between the facts. Something else that gives the truth away. Or I guess do we just need to show the photograph again to show the right hand? Because I thought that. Okay. So if they're gonna think about the right hand, I thought showing the diary would indicate that he wrote it with his left hand, seeing as it goes from right to left. But I guess I was kind of overthinking this. So this one?
Yes.
No. Okay. No. So. Okay, I'm missing the point here. Bear with me. This is no mere accident. Was it really the mark on the floor? No. How's that show that's... Wait. The presence of something or the absence of something? Okay, so we can... Okay, obviously we can rule out these. Or... Well, I don't have much choices, so...
Yes.
Okay, so... Okay, well, okay. My angle is so wrong here. The piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. Yeah, because I thought we're still talking about the message, not about the glass. I thought we'd go into that, like, after. Because, like, I mean, I guess we already proven the point with the whole him writing in Russian. But then I thought, like, we just wanted to, like, cement the fact so that, like, you know, he'd be writing with his left hand if that were somehow the case, you know, despite... Okay, let's move on. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already knew all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there's a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. Oh, what? What? That's really what happened. And how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Okay, yeah. Or... Oh no, the little hook where it dangled from is broken too. Never mind. Because part of me, like, would have had some random thought, even though it would be very specific. Like, the little ring keeping it in place with, to the collar would still stay intact. But, like, just the half of the rest of the bell, like, fell off without said hook or ring. Okay, I'm overthinking things here.
Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no.
Both of these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. Now, when Mr. Asagi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged a scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his or her own guilt.
Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asagi's...
Hold it! You were wasting time. Someone else was there. Da, of course. We know this. What are you talking about? Bulkhead, was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out. Oh, yes. Ah, this is where he introduced the sliding bolt. And the only other person in cabin with when young student died was you.
Yes!
It's true, I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I could have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor, in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep there the entire time. And then, the same person picked up the piece of the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asagi really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would have barely cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder then that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of a tiny item.
You all suspect me, don't you?
Seaman Stroganoff? Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, a member of ship's band. You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal. Ah, so that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth. Well, this is all most interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? You are a great detective. You should know. Look at truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody can go into cabin. Not Nina. Not anyone. Or you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Yet, it is impossible. He's right.
But wait, I read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so they can open and close them from the outside.
Sasada, we just went over this. Come on. Red, are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors.
Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find in any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel, with not a gap in sight. No threads, nor needles, or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so...
Susato-san, how could you shift it onto me like that?
So Seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from outside.
Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin, I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind, having been used before. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside. One way does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what, do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, and so should you. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have, so would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door, cabin door bolt from the outside. Wait. Telling signs of the method that was used to slide it from the outside? To slide it from... Telltale signs... Okay, so they raised the alarm to get the ship to swerve violently. So then what could... So do I present the bell cord? Or do we show this to talk about how the alarm, or like the people speaking through the alarm, were about to rock the ship, basically? I think either of these two. Cause like the last two times we tried with Susato with ringing the bell, or at least like at this point in time, we rang it twice. No one came in. No one even addressed whoever could have been in this room that would have pulled the bell cord. Slide it from the outside. Unless they just literally want me to present the door itself. So okay, I got three things on mine. Like the bolt itself, and hopefully they say that when the ship rocked back and forth violently, that it opened without anyone touching it. Or we somehow actually, how that makes sense? Like just try to reason out like when the alert came out, they immediately swerved very hard and rocked the ship with such force that the bolt opened. Okay, the more I look at the bell cord, the more I think this is irrelevant, honestly. Well, at least with what I pinned down, 50-50. So... Well...
Yes!
Yeah, okay, I have the idea, but I just don't know the exact location they want me to freaking ping. Okay, so then this then.
Yes!
No. You've seen it happen? Well, the warning sign says not to carry anything dangerous with pets, so I don't think that's really too... So then, was it really the bell cord? Was it really the bell cord, and I written it off, like, too early? Because, like, during the earlier times, like every time they rang it, nothing came up. Like, no response, and, like, no one, like, knocked on the door or anything. And they won't let me look anywhere else, so...
Yes!
Well, shit. Well, at least we can see what happens when you lose. Sadly, Mr. Naruhodo. Despite being all about trifles, great deduction is no trifling matter. This is no place for guesswork. Sorry. I'm afraid you have developed a shocking habit for it, and it is quite destructive to the logical faculty. Reasoning is an art, and there are only so many times you can erase your work. In other words, I need to think everything through again from the start. Don't lose heart, Naruhodo-san. I believe in you. Those Azures won't let you down. I'm sure they'll help you find the truth in the end. Right. I need to trust in my own observational skills. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Let me load back from here so I don't have to go through all that again. Wait. Oh! Oh, so that's how they want me to explain. Like, again, I have the idea, I just don't know what the game expects me to use to actually explain it. The bookshelf.
Yes!
I hate everything. Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and the things on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel after all. They were asking for the method, but proof that the method was used. Yeah. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe, yes, it's what's known as the force of inertia acting on the objects. Is there nothing Sasada-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book, at least. Well, whatever it's called. The same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. Ah! It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Hello! Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Hosonaga. Oh, yes. That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door. Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Well, the force of ineptia? If you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Asage was killed? The SS Burya made another emergency stop. When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had been toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had ran their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over.
Oh yes, I remember that.
And I stood them all up again, didn't I? That's when we came to this cabin and we're surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Asagi's cabin.
Oh my.
Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? You say Burya made emergency stop. It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room.
Oh, it is simple enough.
Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm.
Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only to press the button in times of emergency.
On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. A sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Wait, it was you. When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As it indeed did a little earlier today. Sholmes? Sholmes?
Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who...
As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed, whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with shit? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now. Now, I'm sure all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we now have learned a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider...
Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asagi, did the ship make an emergency stop, or did it not?
You are idiots. Burya is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop even in middle of night, there would be chaos everywhere. Chaos. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea.
Really? What evidence, Naruhodo, or Mr. Naruhodo?
Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency gripped this vessel last night?
Yes!
The ship's log. Seaman Stroganov, it's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship, isn't that right? Ah, that is correct. Why? And the ship's log here. This would be where you record the details of your duties. What are you doing with that? That is mine! Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took into our care with a mind to return it to you later. I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always. The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances you write the phrase, "nothing to report" every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log. That is... because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report. wouldn't you? Uh, Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Buria. It's the snake. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact.
Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night?
Stop talking rubbish.
If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself.
Oh, why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed.
That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can imagine that anyone would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night.
Well, no, that's a good point. What of the throbbing? Sorry, what do you mean? Your head, my man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it.
Ah.
Oh, yes. I have had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today.
Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy since dawn.
Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected.
He's right, my head's been throbbing today too.
And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then, the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why did I wake up when all that was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, you boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yeah, sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Ah, well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Oh yes, in fact, I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? Oh, that's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? What, everyone had like some... I don't know. My dear fellow, does that not strike you?
Oh! Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken?
I do. No, really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Tampered with by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. A sleeping drug. Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop?
Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea.
Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would be certainly impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. What?
Mr. Sholmes!
Oh, seaman. I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If he refused to talk, then there had to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over to the coals for aiding and abetting a renegade. Oh, we're going full circle here, are we? Oh.
Please, no more. I will tell everything.
Yeah.
I cannot make problems like this. For everyone anymore.
These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe.
Yes, so when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me.
We all agreed to help. Everyone together. She threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet. Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel.
I don't believe it.
You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night. Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. Duh. We cannot make all drug, how do you say, dissolve. Ugh. Talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight, in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was helped by a comrade on shore with a small fishing boat. While all the passengers of the SS Burrier slept soundly, thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So, if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, the people who dislike chicken, and the newly boarded passenger Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case. There would have been complete chaos. Chaos? Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Ah, of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of their sleeping drug. Quite. And accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes. The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway. So, not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. You have talked long time and said many things. What is point? The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. The one who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night.
But... I don't know about any of this. I'm just a little girl.
You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. Read Temple starting tomorrow? Oh. Well, Here's hoping I get either Poseidon or Katsuda during tomorrow's free pulls. But I am Sailor, and sailors do not listen to long, boring stories. We don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. A laudable trait. What? I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes. Do you hear it? The accusatory cry of guilt on the wind. Bullshit, sailors are the most superstitious bunch ever. What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes. For observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you talking about? I believe the time has come. For one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth. So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow. Just as I said, at least two prevaricators. Observation? If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of, Mr. Asagi's death. Is it a default name? It's the official localized name. Because that's the name of, like, you know, Phoenix Wright and stuff in Japan, you know, with Ryunosuke and Naruhodo. Although, I'm not sure about the... Actually, wait, is it still the same name for... or similar name for Phoenix Wright in Japan? I'm sure there's, like... I'm pretty sure the Naruhodo part is obviously the last name, but then I'm not sure about the first name since I never played or looked up Phoenix's name in, like, Japan, in the Japanese text and everything. Phoenix is... Ryuichi Naruhodo. Ah, okay. You never knew? I mean, most people who don't know about the Japanese side of the Ace Attorney games wouldn't really know. Oh wait, hold on. I think I skipped over that by accident. Today I learned? Yep. So, okay, let me see. If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asagi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened. Precisely. You are delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. Chunky arms. Oh, look at this. It's some kind of stain in an unusual place. Yes, you're right. It looks like ink, if I'm not mistaken. Ink. Look at the color, too. It's clear where this came from. Excuse me? Okay, there we go.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff. You seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform back there. Yes, I, don't know where the dirt comes from. So, nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain. What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of the stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It is a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform, and I think what made and I think what made it is clear. Indeed it has. So, Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then, the evidence that proves what that stain on the back of Seaman Stroganov's uniform really is. So I'm guessing we present... Oh wait, there's nothing, okay, yeah, that's the only thing that shows the ink.
Yes!
Yes! It's this photograph, and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink. A rather unusual color of ink. Purple. Oh! Ah, the penny drops at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. The stain... And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of the exact same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't have possibly stained your uniform in that way. Which means... you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilt. Alright, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in dead student's cabin to make it look like Wardrobe Man did it. Then I pressed button to make Burya do emergency stop. And bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel.
Bev, please.
Not Bev, Beef. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after one morning. I was on duty, patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet.
Beef, please. You must help me.
I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student boy on floor. What happened here?
Please, don't tell anyone. My little one. My little furry friend.
Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asagi's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell on the floor. Yes, that is right. So after the incident when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers. Only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling on floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked, so she opened to look and you already know what happened after.
There's just one thing. If you wouldn't mind.
What?
When you went to Mr. Asagi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Why?
I already told you. When Nina opened door of student's cabin, I was asking Miss Pavlova.
Well, Miss Pavlova? Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you.
So, is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last? Ah, something nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. This photograph, yes. I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck, yes? Therefore, the victim died instantly. The unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there's one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural. What do you mean, unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Huh? Oh, well... If Kazuma tripped and fell, and by some stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of the photographic print seems unnatural? Duh?
Yes!
This word in Russian clearly wasn't written by Kazuma, so if you're looking for something unnatural, that's the obvious point. Very true, it is certainly peculiar. But it's not what I meant by unnatural, I'm afraid. Shit! Oh, wait. Never mind. That particularly crass detail was orchestrated by the culprits. I mean to identify another point. Oh, I see. Imagine, if you will, losing your footing yourself. In my opinion, if you landed as the victim appears to have done there, it would be most unnatural. Wouldn't he fall on his back? I'm sure you'll reach the same conclusion. How thoughtful you are, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you again for your gentle guidance. Wait. So then... ignoring... Okay, so I tried hovering around this area in hopes of getting the words and the hand, but... no. Oh, wait. His fist is closed. When you die, you would normally relax it, since, well, wouldn't you?
Yes!
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't quite seem right. The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us, please. Why, of course, my dear madam. Would I keep you in suspense? Yes! This is what I found. Oh! A crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle. Yes, you're right. A crescent moon. It is very pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing. I'm not so sure that crescent moon looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo. That is key. The key. What? The truth is now tantalizingly close. How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? This is the final clue. The last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, where does this little crescent moon, or what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe! Find the answer with your own eyes! Miss Pavlova, I noticed that on your ear. Even though you have a metal earring, the decorative part of it seems to be missing. The little link holding it must have broken, I suppose. Eh? What? But looking at your other ear, I noticed a crescent moon. Oh! I don't believe it! Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly there is one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asagi must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear, just moments before you fell to the floor. In other words, last night in Mr. Asagi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asagi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? Oh no. Angel. No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin, and I could relax after this long, horrible day. Tarka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Tarka would not come back. What are you doing, what are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh. Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. The young man from your country, he was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had a friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave the man's cabin... Oh, just a moment, sorry, but... Oh, yes. I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Ah! Ah, of course. You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina. Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the far away east know a Russian ballerina? Ah, yes. I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing on this ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment. I can't fool him. I had to tell him the truth, and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no choice. Oh, I see. So you've run away. Please, please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. He was gonna look at the wardrobe for Oh. He was gonna look at the wardrobe for Ryunosuke, not the bell cord. Oh. It was just a misunderstanding when she snapped under all that stress of her being exposed. Why did I think I could trust him? Then it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait! I shouted, and then Stalker jumped out of my arms and down to the young man's feet. And as he turned around to look at me, oh! I pushed him. Oh. God, I could feel that. Oh my god. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. And that's when he went to fetch help from Seaman Stroganoff, who was on duty in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out and thud on floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door, shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me, Beef. If they find out, I'll be... Please, I have nowhere to go." So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes. I went into cabin and looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. Then I found Stowaway, in wardrobe, still sleeping. Right, that's when he found me. So he worked out a plan to lay the blame on the Stowaway. I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Susato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged Yomen's body to a good place and used ink that was spilling to right on floor. I wrote, I don't know how to pronounce that, but so that person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find Stowaway. And tell me, what's of the glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark in the cabin, and I did not notice the other half. Then Angel went back to her cabin, and I finished Joe. By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway. Yes. Accordingly, the SS Buri did indeed come to an emergency halt, a little after 2 AM, thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? Well, you said... Okay, hold on. Excuse me. You said that you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. And it's because you were worried he's going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? It was what he said first that made me scared. What he said first? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh. Oh. I'm sorry.
I thought it was a friend of mine. He said an inspector was his friend. Oh, yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asagi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain, but he was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not done. Not yet done, it seems. There is one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Yes. What action was the victim really about to take at that moment? Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. Oh, that's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still, that cabin has been my home for this entire voyage. So this is how the cabin looked last night when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama. Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes! If there's one thing I've learned today, it's that a simple gaze can reveal all manner of truths. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out even by a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at?
Take that!
Okay, I love it. I don't think I'll get tired of the glass breaking effect.
Considering everything that happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however... What is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe! The wardrobe? And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly. Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asagi's exact words last night? Oh, give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. Another opinion? Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Asagi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if between them they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Oh no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure what Mr. Asagi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had. Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did. And that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. What have I done?
And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Burya was finally laid to rest. God damn. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at the Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort that all out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she will be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. He died for a dumb reason. It just... Yeah, I just feel so disheartened that, like, a potentially great character, I mean, yeah, like a potentially great character in Kazuma, just dead because of, like, a literal jump to a conclusion. Or not literal, but yeah, just by jumping to conclusions and then just, like, complete misunderstanding instead of something actually malicious. It was just a moment of desperation, more than anything. And I'm like, ah, man. Like overall as a case, I'm sort of fine, but it's just like, man, did they really have to choose Kazuma? Like, come on, dude. Please, I really wish we could have seen more of him. Because he was such a promising character. Like, a promising cool guy character in Case 1. I want to see him cut more shit up with his katana, dude. Come on. Seaman Stroganoff? I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you. About how you lost good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. Let's kill him so the main character grows and becomes a lawyer instead. I mean, they could have both became the lawyer, god damn it. Someone's gotta pick up the torch though, but I mean, come on, did we have to do it so inelegantly? There could have been a better way to pass down the torch, man. Come on, please. There could have been better ways to pass down the torch. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste. But... well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Da. Or at least make him die in a better way, like a badass. Maybe. Like, he definitely would seem like the character to go down fighting instead of, like, push and then struck the spine. Killed to hopefully not get arrested. Which indeed resulted in guaranteed arrest. I mean, people don't think rationally when they're panicking, especially when you're on the run from Russia. Like, it's in the middle of the night, all by your lonesome, with only people you kind of know on the ship, sort of, and like the police are searching for, or police could be searching for you. Like, you're a famous like ballerina that pretty much the world, like a lot of the world knows, and yeah, and she's like what, still 15? All of that pressure onto her. Like, she had to snap at some time. But yeah, it's still a sad thing nonetheless, though, with all that's happened. Like, you can see where she's coming from, though. Like, you know, she's only 15. She ran away, nothing left, like, nothing else to her name but the tiara to sell to have some money to start something with, which is probably her plan, and just coast along or something. I don't know what could have been. No point in pondering about that now since she'll be imprisoned for murder. Still a very valuable crown too. Shh. The appraisers in the shops won't need to know about that. They only need to know about that in Russia. Like, you know, just go to an antique shop somewhere in Great Britain. It's like, ah, yes, this would be worth about some amount of like pounds or something like that. I'll take it. And you know, they wouldn't bat an eye. Okay, some might. Depends on which one you go to. Go to a black market one and it's like no questions asked. Anyways now. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the council and arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes. I did stow away after all. I couldn't really expect any different. So, you should get back to your cabin now. The wardrobe? It looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it's even begun then. To think that only days ago, Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we tear up the streets of London. That seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Ah. Susato-san? If you were him, you won't sleep in the same room where your friend died? Well, I mean, it's not like he has anywhere else to sleep, but, I mean, whether he'd be able to sleep is one question, but it's not like he has anywhere else to rest. Unless he wants to sleep in the hallway, or on the hallway floor. Even then.
Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned.
Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hosonaga just told me I should pack, you know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. Aww.
I still can't believe this has happened. Can't believe someone's life can be over. Just like that.
Susato-san.
He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away. Just as he has. Thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. That it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. It's just too much.
Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Ah, okay.
Inspector,
My duty was to see Asagi-san safely to Britain. But I failed. And caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I let everyone down. And I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. I'm afraid— What?! Surprise, Mr. Naruhodo! Jones! What the fuck? We're having a moment! What? What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head I think I shall picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It is distracting. Sorry? So I decided to restore them for old time's sake, shall we say. You are a stowaway after all. Ha 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 ha. You think this is funny? Wow, I'll put on a fucking chokehold with his fucking shackles. Mr. Sholmes. We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh, not at all, not at all. And though it is late, may I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. I hope you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was a stowaway. Well, I mean, like, what will Susato and, like, Nosunaga do since they're just the ones to assist and protect Asagi? So, I mean, they kind of have to go back. They have no reason to stay in Britain. Only Asagi or Kazuma was the only one that had a reason to stay in Britain. The terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. I mean, okay, they're gonna... Oh, I can see the segue, but let's fucking go. Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asagi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no. I don't care for me, but... Poor Susato-san. Hey, Sina. How you doing? My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. Oh. But there's no one else with the necessary qualification, Mr. Shaw. You know, I'm just waiting for that super cheesy moment, like, wait, but there's no one left to fill in his shoes or to do this. It's like, yeah, but there has to be someone who, as everyone but that one person, like, looks directly at him. It's like, Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes. Mr. Sato. Yes. Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? Ah. But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No shit! Although, I guess this doesn't exactly indicate our major or anything like that. Or whatever the system is in Japan. At the time. No, I'm not, but... sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But, as I said, there's still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, oh my god! He's gonna cram for a whole month to learn how to be a lawyer in Great Britain. In this little cabin. God damn. I personally have a lot of trouble self-studying. Well, I mean, he has like very good like reason to like do everything in his power, but god damn. Imagine trying to get your like degree in law in 1 month in one tiny ass cabin. Also with some help from Sholmes, like telling him about British law and everything. But god damn.
Mr. Naruhodo.
It helps that there's nothing to do on the ship otherwise. Yep. He just needs a book called Lawyering for Dummies. Nah, he just needs a certain detective novel series about the great Sherlock Holmes to educate him about Great Britain's great legal system. Ah, yes. And help unravel the mysteries surrounding whatever. I don't freaking know, dude. That's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all that in just 40 days? Well, there's only one way to find out. I will work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? And if by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma. He said there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. But based on Sholmes' performance in this case, you'd have the novel would help. Shh, dude, that's beside the point. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Mrs. Sato? I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. Aww. So, what does our besticled inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, it's madness. Yet fascinating. Wouldn't you agree? But fascinating. Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest. Give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man. Ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your very own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector! After all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here.
Oh, thank you, Inspector.
If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next and how best to make my report. Are you really prepared to attend this, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer. I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant after all. Thank you. And, Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this. What? Me? Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword that's been in the Asagi clan for generations. Very well. I accept. I'll treasure it always. Treasure it? You're gonna learn how to use it, right? So then, Mrs. Sato. It seems we'll be working together for some time, or for some time to come yet. It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. Shit. We shall fill every spare moment with study. Yes, that's exactly what I need. But, before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you too. Oh, goodness, what is it? Please, throw me to the ground. 3 times. The takedown. What? I should never have doubted you. No gacha games for a month? How could anyone live without gacha for a month? It's inconceivable. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me, and no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away, and the cabin door was locked from the inside. No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you. Not just once, but 5 times. That number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it. No, I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess, I was most interested. Where did he see that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling. Oh, well, in a way, it's not wrestling but my own interpretation of an old jujutsu technique. Apparently it's called the Susato Takedown. It leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling. I am a practitioner of combative arts myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw. Yes, I'd be honored, but wait. Who are you gonna throw? Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam. Oh, of course. Uh-oh. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Hiya! As you can see, you throw from the abdomen. Oh yes, arresting indeed. This is what you term the Susato Takedown, is it? Actually, no. That was a Susato Squash. What? In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered into my mind. You must study the blade. Karuma? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asagi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana study tour is more than a little regular, don't you say? Or surely. A Japanese man's sword. A Japanese man's sword is this soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. Swear to God, if his soul is somehow imbued into the katana. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two. Not that you would find much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain, and I'll have to sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing he had to do, I still don't know what that was. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. The end. Not gonna lie, the ending was a bit drawn out, but I mean... there were a lot of times where I was wondering, like, man, is it gonna go to the ending thing? No, here we gotta keep talking a little more. Okay, not that I hated it, but... I was like, man, that's gonna take a while, huh? And you know... just in time. It is a little past midnight. You know, part of me is tempted to switch a Path of Exile, not gonna lie. But I think I just want to chill. Obviously get some more water because I'm freaking thirsty and I just used up the last of my water. So I don't think I'll have time to, I mean, not like I'll really commentate on much in Path of Exile. But I think I'll probably just keep that as an off-stream thing for now for me just to chill with throughout the day. And we shall... Oh, actually, do I want to continue Trails to Azure? Or do I want to keep doing Greatest Attorney? I'm torn. What do I think of Case 2? A tiny bit mixed. I mean, like, there's a lot of cool stuff with, like, you know, obviously the introduction of Mr. Sholmes, like, the introduction of the great deduction mechanic, and all that stuff. But the thing that kind of eats away at me is the fact that, like, everything was basically a huge misunderstanding or accident instead of an actual, like, crime. Because, like, when I see stuff like this happen, I would like to think that there's some overarching, like, plot, like, in development. So then, like, oh, someone had some extremely complicated and elaborate plan to dispose of Kazuma for whatever reason, right? And eventually, around the last case, we get to... or we could have gone to, like, oh, this was the actual, like, orchestrator behind all these series of unfortunate events and all that. I was kind of hoping for something like that, you know, the start of a bigger plot, while we have to deal with the smaller stuff of us learning to become a lawyer, assuming if Kazuma was still alive, you know, becoming a lawyer with Kazuma, and just kind of working through Britain, and just going through all the local stuff, but then slowly pile in more of the big stuff. But then here's like a little, still third-degree murder? Yeah, sure, I mean, it's still murder, but not like premeditated or anything like, you know, crazy, if there's some kind of like grand conspiracy or something like that. Like, what was it? Like, how everything played out was, I was overall fine with, it's just like I'm just kind of more let down at what could have been, more than me being disappointed in what actually was played, more than anything. Like the case itself overall, you know, the story that was kind of set up and how it played out and, you know, all that stuff, it was fine. But, you know, it's just I'm more bummed out at it could have been more grand, I guess, for lack of a better word, in terms of like setting up the little things for what could go on, like across the rest of the cases. Like if they're going for some crazy big plot on top of this, like seemingly small start of a new journey, or sorry, bad wording, at the start of a new journey, you know? I don't know. Because, like, you know, there's also the mention of the Russian revolutionary that they mentioned in the newspaper, and I'm not sure if they'll really continue using that detail anymore, if it'll come back to be of some relevance at some later point. Maybe, I shrug if I don't know. But I thought that could have somehow led to something, you know. For me, I love I love plots that, like, are a bit out there with, like, but you see, this was some extremely huge setup, and then let me just, like, flash you back to all the connections from the very beginning, or some crap like that, right? Like, I'm down for extremely convoluted or just crazy plots that, like, take you on a journey itself. I'm like, yes, it all started way back here. But this case, too, is rather self-contained. Like, Pavlova went in, was desperate about getting exposed, and jumped to conclusions and just pushed to kill Kazuma. Like, unintentionally. She just wanted to push him out of the way. And probably yell at him to go, no, don't do it, instead of killing him. It was unfortunate that he happened to fall right at the frame of the bed that struck his neck. I should continue playing this game then? I mean, I know there's like still the stuff from the first case, like that one woman that basically like pulled up her diplomatic immunity card, being from like I forget where she was from again. So there's still the unanswered question about like her, because I don't think they'll show some character like that and not do anything with her. So there's still that to have in mind. And, you know, I'm not sure how this will come into play, but, you know, that Russian revolutionary thing, it's not like they closed off that end, it's still present. I'm not sure if they'll do much with it, but we'll have to see. She's British? Oh, yeah. So, oh god, so if we do see her again, which we will given these kinds of games, ooh boy. But yeah, like the whole thing with Pablo is that, you know, she's not really connected to whatever could be at large and all, which is kind of what I've been getting at. But either way though, like overall, case 2, pretty alright. I had my expectations a little bit too high for what could have been, and, you know, trying to think of things being bigger than what they seem, because this is all kind of like a for the most part, self-contained kind of deal, right? So, okay, I think that's enough about that.